Hello and welcome. And so I just had to jump on. It's late right now. You'll see this probably tomorrow. And my mind is just blown. So what are we doing in the government? What are we doing? What are we doing? I'm not political. I said this before. I don't know what office is doing what or why they're doing it. And that's part of the reason why I don't get into politics, because I don't know enough in order to fight one way or another. What I fight about is money. And not because I want to be some rich person, but because we all make a certain amount of money and we all have to budget that money in order to live. So why does our government not need to do the same thing? It doesn't make sense. When they're in debt, they just make more money and go into debt further. I don't understand. I don't know how it works. Okay. So Trump and his sidekick Musk. It's too much. It's too much. Okay. So they've got DOGE, who is finding all kinds of nonsense in the government in terms of money. What they're saying is fraud, and that may be a little strong, but there is a lot of waste. I can definitely see that and say that and know that there's a reason why we're so many $1 trillion in debt. There's a reason. It's because we spend like we don't know what a dollar is, and we spend like we're just going to go make another dollar, which is literally what the government does. We spend $1, we just go physically make $1, not go work to make it, but physically go make $1 in the printing station. It's crazy. So somehow I don't even know where I saw it. It was a commercial or I don't know. But I heard something about DOGE finding all this money. Okay. So I had to go and look and research and try to figure this out. Now, if you go to the DOGE website, which I tried to go on, and let me pull it back up so I can tell you for sure. What is it called? I already got rid of it. But it doesn't give you any information. It wants you to buy crypto, basically. It wants you to buy Doge coins and Trump coins. That's not what your job is. That's not what your job is as a government agency. Is not to sell crypto, fake coins. That's not what. Why are we doing this, people? Why are we doing this? But so anyway, their specific website, Department of, what is it even called? I'm going to have to look it up. Hang on. Okay, so DOGE is called the Department of Government Efficiency. And so the idea of this, to me, seems very logical. You're going to find areas within the government where you can cut back, save money, stop waste, stop any fraudulent activity if there is some, and just get control of the government's money. Okay, that's the idea. I like that idea. I think that's a great idea because we as individuals need to do the same for our own households. So we should also have the government be doing the same for the government's household. Okay, it makes sense to me. It makes sense. But then we see what they're finding. And so I made a list. They posted receipts or bills, or I didn't understand what it was. The lady, the spokesperson for the White House was saying they're receipts. So these are receipts. So that's what we're going to call them, because that's what she called them. So that's what I got to call them. So she called them receipts. So the first one is for $36,126. It is for DEI training for leadership in the immigration office. Now, $36,000, I don't know if this is for a year, for a month, for a week. That all makes a difference. $36,000 for a year for an office of, I don't know how many people, 100, 200, 500, 1,000, I don't know. Makes sense. $36,000 to me doesn't seem like an abundant amount for DEI training. I guess it's DEIA. Diversity. How come I don't know any words? How come I can't just say the words? I don't know. Diversity and inclusion is the only thing that's stuck in my mind, and that's not what it is. But basically for diversity training, and it's $36,000. I I don't know, because obviously I don't know the program. I'm not in the program. I don't know. But it doesn't seem fraudulent and it doesn't seem wasteful. However, due to Trump's elimination, basically, of any DEI programs, it now somehow conflicts with that. So now these programs, which may be very helpful and useful, are now going to be eliminated. They literally eliminated this program, $36,100, not program, but this part of the program. So $36,126,000 for that, gone. We're not spending that anymore. The next one was the Council for Inclusive Innovation Public Relations Firm contract. So it didn't actually say what it was, but it's for inclusive innovation, is what it sounds like. And this was for, ready? $2,855,138.88. So $2.9 million basically for this inclusive innovation project. And again, I don't know what time period this was for. I don't know if this was a year's worth of spending or 10 years worth of spending. So those are details that are needed in order to really evaluate, is this wasteful spending or not? I can't just say you spent $2.9 million. I have no idea how long it took you to spend that money. I don't know if it was a month-long project or a 10-year project. I don't know. Obviously, if it's a month-long project, I wouldn't want to spend $2.9 million a month on this program or nearly any program. But we don't know, so we can't really say if it's wasteful or not. The next one is for the Sri Lanka Climate Change Mitigation Adaptation. So we're studying Sri Lanka climate change. We spent, or they had signed up for, I think it was actually already spent, but it's $35,338.58. They like eights in the government, apparently. So $35,000 to study climate change in Sri Lanka. How about if we study climate change in America, where we live, where the people that are giving you the money to study this, where they live? That would make more sense to me. If this were a Idaho climate change mitigation adaptation, I think we'd be okay. $35,000 to study climate change in a state that is in our country, I think that'd be okay. But not to go to a different country. I don't think that's, I'm going to call bad on that. For sure bad on that. So I've got 1 out of 3 so far that I'd consider 100% bad. The other 2 need more details. And then the last one, this is a big one. It's for the DEIA Consultation Services and Training for the Job Corps program. Now, I believe this is the Job Corps program. If you went to a high school where they had a program where, I think it was as a junior and senior, you could go into this special program that would put you to work so that when you graduate high school, I don't know if you went right in directly into a career or if it paid for your college or something. I don't remember exactly, but I remember hearing Job Corps as a child, as a kid, as a high schooler. I remember that. And I remember it being a program back then. That was back in the 90s. So we still have apparently that program. So for this program, ready? We spent no, I'm sorry. That's missing some zeros. $4,097,657. $4.1 million. Let's just put it that way, because I can't read numbers apparently. $4.1 million for the DEIA Consultation Services and Training for the Job Corps program. Now again, the timing of this makes a difference. So if this is something we're paying annually, it may be a little high. If this is something we're spending monthly, it is way too high. But it depends on how many employees there are, how many students we're helping, or how many people are in the program that we're helping. Like, all of that makes a difference. It's not just a number on a piece of paper. It's not just your cable bill, right? Because your cable bill is just a monthly bill. You just get rid of it. These numbers, there's no time frame. There's no real look at what is actually happening in these programs. So this one, I'm a little skeptical on. That amount, the 4.1 million, is awfully high. But again, if it covers 10 years, that's quite a bit different than if it covers 1 month, right? So like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? So in the end of the 4 receipts that they showed in this clip, I would say one of them of the 4 is, to me, a waste of, not fraudulent maybe, but definitely a waste of taxpayer money. The other 3, I think, are important programs, but we need to know the scope, right? We need to know how many people this is helping, how many people this is training, what time frame are we talking about for this money that was spent? You know, is this monthly, weekly, annual, every 5 years, every 10 years? Like, we need to know that in order to make a decision on whether this money is valid, or if it's a waste, or if it's fraudulent. I can't lean toward fraudulent. I don't see anything fraudulent. To me, fraudulent is like you're paying for undercover services or something like that. That's, to me, what fraudulent would be. So in the end, what they showed, the 4 receipts that they showed over $7 million worth of spending that they got rid of in just a few signatures. $7 million. This is only 4 programs. Now let's pretend there are 100 programs. There are 100 programs. If each program is worth, let's just say each program is only worth $1 million, because there's some that are low, there's some that are high. If each program were only worth $1 million and we had 100 programs, that's $100 million that we would get rid of in our government spending. So this is how we could perhaps get rid of some of this overwhelming debt that our government is in, okay? Now, again, they shouldn't just go running around cutting all the programs, because, again, we don't know what these programs are for, who they're affecting, how much they're affecting people, or if they are a waste. I imagine there's some validity to all of them. Even the climate change one in a different country, I'm sure there's some validity to it, but perhaps not at the amount that we're paying. So I understand what they're after, and I get it, and I think getting rid of all waste is a good thing, because right now the government, watch this, the government needs to get gazelle intense and get on a Dave Ramsey plan. Because why are we spending so much money and none of us know what it's for? How am I, my little me and my little income that I get is going to pay for Sri Lanka? How do you say it? Is it Sri Lanka? Is it Sri Lanka? How am I going to pay for their climate change program or study? How? How's that? What about my climate change in my backyard? What about the lake that happens in my backyard when it rains too hard? How about that? Can we study that for $35,000? I mean, you know, it's all relative, right? So, I encourage you to go research this, look into it, see what you think, come up with your own conclusion. Of course, we are all individual Americans, so we all do have to make our own decisions. We cannot rely on friends, family, the public, the media, anyone. We have to rely on our own abilities to think, to budget, and to work things out that don't maybe make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, we need to look a little deeper and figure it out. That's in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Now, do you hate me because I keep bringing up this Trump stuff? He's our president, and he's a little much. So he's going to keep popping up, and it's going to keep coming. But hopefully, we can be smart Americans and keep our country strong and move forward and not get stuck on the fact that Elon Musk, I think, thinks he's maybe a president. I think maybe he thinks he's the vice president. I don't know. Where's the other guy? What's the other guy? Vance. Where's Vance? I haven't heard from JD Vance in a while. He needs to get back on the scene in the Oval Office instead of Elon. People don't like Elon. I'm sorry. I mean no harm to anyone. Trust me, I know nothing about politics. All I know is what I can read and what I can find when I research. That's what I know. So don't hate me because I talk one way or another about what's happening in our government right now. What I know for sure is that the government spends too much money every year, ever since ever. I know that for sure. So we need to get that under control. That's what I know for sure. So I sure hope that you can give the video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. And make sure to subscribe. When you subscribe, you should hit the bell so you know when the next video comes out. Leave me a comment down below. What do you think about this whole Department of Government Efficiency Program, DOGE? What do you think? Have you thought about it? Do you know about it? Do you understand it? Does it make any sense to anyone? Leave me a comment. Tell me. Tell me what you think. That's it for me. Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a good one.